Good morning, everyone. So we are on the maiden voyage with the bus. It is not fully finished, but it is finished enough that we can travel. So the objective with this trip is to basically just go visit my family for Thanksgiving. And I'm just going to see if there's any quirks with the bus, if there's anything mechanical that needs to be addressed, anything that I have set up that needs to be changed. And once we get all that stuff worked out, then we're going to seal up everything. We're going to finish off the ceiling, finish off the walls, and it'll be finished. So we're camping out at Walmart in Longmont, Colorado. I'm going to be staying here for a few days and visiting some friends, but I know this is a cool place to stop. I used to see a lot of schoolie conversions stopping here, so it's kind of cool that I get to be one of them. And we also got ourselves a rental car so we can DoorDash a little bit and make some money on the side while we're doing this. So on the trip over here, the transmission did start to shift a little bit hard, and that's not a good sign. So I pulled over and I looked just to make sure the transmission fluid is at a sufficient level, and it was a little bit low. It wasn't low enough that I would think that it would slip like that. So when that started happening, I pulled over and I got some Lucas transmission fix, and supposedly it can help with slipping and hard shifting and stuff like that, and in my case it actually did work. So we're about 500 miles on that, and so far it seems to be working correctly. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. Worst case scenario, we have to rebuild the transmission or replace it, which would suck, but it's not the worst thing that could go wrong. So I'm about to go visit one of my friends. She invited me out ice skating, so we're about to go do that today. Up until this point, I've been working on the bus, just sort of getting some of the finishing things done with it. Like I installed 2 outlets and I got some of the trimming pieces in. So we're really making some progress here, and I'm really happy with it. I'm also extremely happy that the mini split will heat the bus all night long with the EcoFlow. It definitely is a stretch, but it will go all night long and it will keep it at a reasonable temperature inside of there. I have it set at 68 degrees. And on the nights that I was testing it, it got down to as low as 10 degrees, but it was mostly around 20 degrees or so. So it works really well. So here is the inside view of the bus. So this is the cats area, which is not fully finished, but I made that so that they could hang out up there. They love climbing up vertical. They love to climb up mattresses when they're leaning up against a wall or curtains. So I got them this, figured they would like that, and sure enough, I was right. They love it. We got the captain right here. She's getting ready to go. A little concerned because she is blind. Some of you guys have been asking about my cats. This is Jinx. She is my blind kitty. And she likes to drive us places. She's the sweet and innocent one. She could do no wrong. She sometimes thinks she's in charge around here. Likes to hang out on the driver's seat a lot. She did that in the motorhome too. I don't know if we'll see Bixby or not. That's my other cat. She's been hiding, but if she comes out, then I'll show you guys her as well. She loves head scratches so much. So another thing that I made today was these foam cutouts, and I put some tapestry pieces over them to make them a little bit more decorative. This is kind of what they look like without the tapestry on it. So it's just boring old foam. So I thought this would be a little bit more interesting than just looking at foam, and I think it looks pretty cool. This is what the back end looks like here. We got kind of everything just shoved in the back here, and we're sort of experimenting with how we like everything to be placed. But in the back here, we have the pooping box. So the cat box is down there, and then the human box is under there. It is a composting toilet, and I do have an exhaust fan on the other side over there, which so far has been really helping with the smell. Okay, so it's day 2 on the road, and we got kicked out of Walmart. I was told that you can park overnight at Walmart, and I saw some speculation that that may not be the case anymore, and it turns out that's not the case. So apparently, you cannot park at Walmart anymore, and if you do, they'll tell you. And I got lucky because they didn't have any signs up yet, so they didn't tell me. They just came out and politely told me to leave. But that is good information to know going forward. But so far we're doing well. The bus is doing really well. I've been kind of working on it a little bit here and there. I got some of the outlets installed yesterday. So far we've not had any hookups, but the solar is doing just fine. Right now we're pulling in about 240 watts and we're using about 18. It's been running the mini split just fine. It's not fully running right now, it's just running the fan. But so far no issues with electricity. Okay, so we found another parking spot, and I guess we're gonna have to write off Walmart as a place to park. I guess they don't allow overnight parking anymore, or maybe not all of them, maybe just some of them. but I'm probably going to ask before I park at Walmart again. By the way, this is my cat Bixby. She has finally come out. She's a little scaredy cat. She doesn't like to talk, and she just went and ran away again. Anyway, we're just parked on this random neighborhood street now. I asked the schoolie group and just asked people what they do when they're boondocking and how they, find places to park. And a lot of people said they just park in a neighborhood somewhere, and, honestly, that's not a bad idea. So here we are in Longmont, Colorado, just parked in some random neighborhood. Now, I didn't want to be directly in front of someone's house because I think it would be a little bit weird to be swinging my door open and close and coming in and out of here right in front of someone's house. I think that might make them feel a little bit uneasy, although it's technically not illegal. I would still rather not bother people if I don't have to. So I found this nice little empty space where someone's fence is, so it's not quite as obvious, and it's blocking the view between me and them so that they can't see me as well. Maybe, hopefully, they don't feel as weirded out. So on the other side of the street, there's an elementary school, and I'm not sure if that's any less suspicious, to be totally honest, but at the very least, the door is facing away from the school, so it's not as likely to cause concern, in my opinion. I'm only planning to be here for a few days, so it's not like I'm going to be here for a super long time, so even if people do start to get a little bit uncomfortable by me being here, it's not going to be very long. It's only going to be 2 or 3 days, so really, I don't think anyone's going to even notice me here. I think as far as anyone's concerned, this is just a bus that belongs to someone on the block. I've got all the windows closed up and blocked out to try and keep the temperature sort of normal in here so that I don't have to use the mini split nearly as much. And on top of that, the windows are tinted, so when you're looking outside, at least in the daytime, you can't tell that anybody's in here, even if these blocks aren't in the window. So from the outside, you can't even tell I'm in here. So for the most part, it's been very cloudy today, so we haven't been doing as well on solar as I would like to, but we are still able to run the heat. We are keeping it at a very consistent 60 degrees in here. So far, the solar electrical system has been working very well as well. It's been keeping my heat going, and it's been keeping it very warm in here. I've been kind of turning it on and off because I have it set on the minimum, but the minimum seems to be a little bit too toasty sometimes, so I think this might be a little bit too big of a unit for the space. But for the most part, I can just keep it set at 60 degrees here, and it'll just keep turning on and off as it needs to. It's been super, super cloudy today, and we haven't been beating on the heat very hard. It's about 30 degrees outside, and I have it set to 60. But despite that, we are still charged up to about 60% on the solar. So we still have plenty of electricity for nighttime. Okay, so the first 2 days went really well. Lots of things to think about, lots of things to talk about. The poop box, I think, was a really good idea. It is keeping all the smell out of the bus. So far, everyone who's looked at it, I've asked their honest opinion, do you smell anything? And they've said no. So putting the little computer fan in the pooping box is apparently the way to go to prevent smell. The solar is working a lot better than I was expecting it to as well. It's definitely way overbuilt. I was expecting to have a lot of excess solar when there's a lot of sunniness outside, but today it was super, super cloudy, and I'm kind of glad that it was cloudy because I got to see what the solar system could do. I got to see what it was capable of. It still kept this thing up to 60 degrees, even though it was cloudy outside, and we even got 60% charged. Last night, with the heater on, we ran it down to about 5%. So I'm really happy I went way overboard with the solar panels on top. That way, we have all our bases covered, even on these cloudy days. I think little things like that are extremely important when you're going to be living 100% off the grid if you want reliable electricity. The sun is out most of the time, but it's not out every single day, and there's a lot of cloudy days, so you definitely have to come up with an alternative solution. I was thinking about buying a generator while I'm here in Colorado just because there's so many options for cheap ones, but none of them have compared to the price that I've seen on Amazon, so I might just buy one on Amazon when I get back to Wyoming. Or if I need a generator before then, I might just buy it and ship it to wherever I happen to be parked. We'll figure something out, but so far we are doing really well, and the bus is working out better than I expected it to. Bye everyone, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye from Bixby.